Welcome back, modders, and to my absolutely amazing Patreon members, thank you for your ongoing support. If you've made it this far, I want to first congratulate you on making some really amazing UI mods. If you haven't shared any screenshots with us in the Patreon channel yet, I'd love to see more of what you've been creating. As most of you know, the last video concluded our series on UI modding, and you now have all the necessary skills to mod any of the game's menus and layouts yourself using what you've just learned. So with that, we are now moving on to some slightly more advanced modding. Hold on to your hats because this is where the real fun begins. My next series will again be broken up into short, bite-sized and easy to follow episodes, and it's going to focus on the following aspects of DayZ modding. Upon completion, you can expect to have gained the following abilities. Part 1 of the series I've titled Nuka Cola Drinks Collection with Bottle Cap Currency System, and I estimate this is going to be around 6 episodes, and it's going to involve things like importing and converting model assets for the Enfusion engine, including how to simulate glass and glowing in the dark textures, that kind of stuff as well. We're going to add custom sounds and some custom animations to our items. I'm going to be teaching you how to create and use custom particle effects on both our items as well as our players, creating and using custom actions, adding special reward buffs. For example, when the player eats, drinks or opens your item, they will get some health boost or even some reward item from in the game. It can be anything really. You feel free to use your imagination and make something way better than what I've made. Creating and using custom in-game item crafting recipes. So like in the game, when you add one item to another item and then you get another item as a result. I'll show you guys how to do that as well. And then I'll also teach you how to run your code on the clients or the servers independently, and also why we might need to do that sometimes. So like if you want to run a code specifically on the player's client and not on the server, or the other way around. And one example of why you would want to do that is if you're creating a JSON file for your server, which also I'm going to teach you about as well. Databases, creating and using JSON configs for our mods to read and write data to and from. That one should be really fun, and I know a lot of you will really appreciate that one. And then in the Discord here, in the custom currency channel, I've got an example of one that I made for one of the Patreons, Cole, and he's alright with us making this into lessons, but we're not going to use his images, of course, because these images that we created for him are his custom branding for his server, so you can expect it to look something like this, just not with his images. Also, we'll create different text, different effects as well, so it won't be so much the same. And then in part 2, we're going to do a custom loot box with keys. So we're going to expand on what we learned in part 1 episodes, and we're going to make custom loot and cargo items with special effects. We'll also add custom conditions and actions in order to lock and unlock it based on if the players meet certain conditions. I estimate this episode should be maybe 4 or 5 episodes, given what we've already learned in part 1 of the series. So this is just an example of one I made for another customer. So this is a Borg cube, and it's just an item that'll spawn in the world. You can spawn it however you want, but in this case we created a JSON database so that the client could put different vectors into his JSON config, and then the server would run and automatically spawn everything it needed. And then you need to find the key, which in his case is this data crystal item, and you can use that to run your custom actions on the cube. So if the player is holding XXX object, in this case data cube, he's going to be able to unlock this, and if he doesn't have it, he'll get like a notification saying, oh sorry, you can't do this action, or whatever you want. And then if he does have it, obviously it will unlock, but we can maybe run some custom sound effects like this one, for example. I took a few different sound effects for that effect from the internet, and I just put them together and chopped them up a bit just to make it a little bit how I wanted it to be. But we can do something like that as well. So fasten your seatbelts because it's going to get really fun. Thanks for watching, everybody.